Hello everyone, this is Mr. Appel, and I'm going to show you what to do when you're solving a quadratic equation that has imaginary solutions. That sounds fun, doesn't it? So here's an example. You may remember from Algebra 1 that when solving a quadratic like this, where there's no x term, it's actually pretty easy to solve because with no x term we can put the numbers on one side, the x squared term on the other, and then take the square root of both sides. So it's actually one of the easier kinds of problems to solve. So if we subtract the 100 from both sides, no problem. We have 2x squared equals negative 100, and then divide both sides by 2, and we get x squared equals negative 50. And then we simply take the square root of both sides. So we get x equals, we have to remember the plus or minus, right? Because plus or minus, because I'm just going to do a little aside here. If I said, what are the solutions to x squared equals 25, you wouldn't just tell me it's 5. You would also tell me it's negative 5. There's two solutions there. And so remember, we write that as plus or minus 5. And so we have to always, when you take the square root of both sides, remember that plus or minus. Okay, but the problem here is our solution is the square root of negative 50, which you now know is an imaginary solution. No problem, we just simplify it the way you simplify imaginary numbers. We take the I out, so I times the square root of 50. Then we're going to simplify the square root of 50, which is 5 rad 2. And so our solution becomes 5I rad 2. And so that would be the solution to that quadratic. In terms of the way you write it, notice that I put the number that came out first, then the I, and then the radical. So that's always the order you should write it in. Don't write I5 the same way you wouldn't write X5. And the radical always comes at the end. That's just how we do it. That's all for now. Thanks.